It's the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Tuesday evening, December 22nd. I'm James Spann. Needless to say, many questions about the severe weather threat tomorrow. Could we see severe weather Thursday, at least part of the day, Christmas Eve? And what about the record warmth for Christmas? And maybe more strong storms as the weekend wraps up. A lot of things going on here, so just sit back and we'll get you through all of this. Let's start with the big picture, as we always do. The water vapor satellite view. Strong subtropical jet stream. That big river of moisture coming up into the deep south. And you can see the trough carving out to the west that will add the dynamic support for the severe weather risk tomorrow. It's a cloudy day, but no rain so far. As we talked about, showers will be pretty hard to find during the day today. And sure enough, I can't find one. Now, we have drizzle in spots, low clouds, fog, and drizzle, but no detectable rain on radar. That was at 2:12. We're in the 60s, Birmingham at 64. Anniston 68, Montgomery up to 70. And again, we're expecting low 70s in most spots by tomorrow afternoon. If you are traveling, take note of the watches and the warnings out west and up north. It's snow, winter storm warnings for parts of New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, Nevada, California, Oregon, Washington, North Dakota, Minnesota. Close to home, we have flash flood watches for the southeastern tip of the state around Dothan, much of Georgia up into parts of the Carolinas, where heavy rain could be an issue for the rest of the week. Obviously, severe weather, the main concern. This is the convective outlook for the rest of today and tonight. A slight risk around the Arklatex. That would include Shreveport and Texarkana, Tyler and Longview, Texas. A marginal risk near the Gulf Coast, but for the northern three-quarters of the state, no severe weather tonight. Tomorrow, there is an enhanced severe weather risk for parts of North and West Alabama. The standard slight risk is far north, almost up to Chicago and up to Indianapolis, down to the Gulf Coast. And a marginal risk does include Chicago and Cleveland. So again, if you're traveling, that's the big view. This is the state view. And let me just say this up front. Please don't get hung up on these categories. I know that there's confusion. You got local weather service offices that are using certain terms. These guys, the Storm Prediction Center, they're using different terms. We standardize on this. This is the Storm Prediction Center. And what they have is an enhanced risk over parts of North and West Alabama. Storms aren't going to follow those lines. This is just a guideline. If you're in North Alabama or Central Alabama, everybody has a risk of severe weather, but the greater chance of the strong tornadoes will be in that enhanced risk, basically from Birmingham north and west. But again, please understand, if you're east or south of Birmingham, you have a risk of severe weather as well. And of course, we'll be much more specific as we go. And this is day 3. This is Thursday, Christmas Eve. And there's a marginal risk for almost all of Alabama except the northwestern tip of the state. And by golly, I wouldn't be shocked if we had some severe weather problems after midnight tomorrow night into the daytime hours on Thursday, as you'll see. That's going to be the biggest adjustment here in the forecast package. Here's the rain for the next 5 days. Really, the bullseye's up around Asheville, North Carolina, with 7 inches there. Amounts in the Gulf Coast between 4 and 5 inches, and around here between 2 and 3 inches. And this is valid through Sunday morning. Don't think we'll have enough for flooding. There could be some localized issues with the heavier storms. All right, noon tomorrow. This is the GFS, the Global Forecast System model, valid at 12 o'clock. The 12Z run, there's the big trough to the west, adding the dynamic support needed for severe weather. A surface low just south of Des Moines, 984 millibars. A trailing surface boundary below that will not get close to us. And again, we are clearly in the warm sector. We'll expect low 70s. Pretty good wind picks up out of the south. This is the instability or the buoyancy of the air, the ability for air parcels to rise freely. And the numbers are over 2,000 joules per kilogram over parts of South Alabama. And even over North Alabama, the instability value is up to 1,500 joules at midday. That is plenty of instability for severe weather here in the cool season. Again, this is this combo look that we like. We've got the Cape down below that where you see the shades of yellow. That's Capes in excess of 2,000 joules. And this is 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. And the wind barbs, the red, that's the lowest level. That's 10 meters off the ground. And then it veers around through 5,000 and 18,000 feet. And that's the veering of the wind with altitude you need for severe weather as well. So it's all in place. This is one of our composite indices, the STP, Significant Tornado Parameter, valid at 6 o'clock. And you can see the numbers are very high over northwest Alabama. And that, of course, is in that, enhanced risk. And that's where the greatest concern for strong tornadoes will be, F3 or higher. And I don't like to play that game. You can have a strong tornado in a slight risk or in a marginal risk. But the dynamic support seems to favor the stronger tornadoes over west and northwest Alabama. But again, clearly there's a risk of a tornado anywhere in the state, especially the northern half. This is 6 o'clock. Let's talk timing here. 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. And again, this is not going to be a line of storms initially. These will be cellular. These things will be out there by themselves, and any of these things could go severe. And the radar is not going to look exactly like that. It will not. But again, there's no reason to think that we'll have a linear type setup here. This is a cellular type setup. And again, that favors the possibility of a few tornadoes, storms with strong, maybe damaging straight line winds, and also some large hail a possibility. Now, this is midnight tomorrow night. Same thing. There's no line. Cellular storms, more than likely supercells going on. And we're going to have to extend the risk on after midnight. In fact, let's go to 6 o'clock Thursday morning. It starts to evolve into a line, but clearly there's a risk of severe weather after midnight tomorrow night. We're going to extend that risk of severe weather on through early Thursday morning. And even at noon on Thursday, this is Christmas Eve. The line breaks up, and we've got these cellular-type storms along Interstate 59 and 20, and those could be severe. Now, the better dynamic support for tornadoes will be lifting out. I'm not so sure we have a tornado threat Thursday. I don't think we do, but clearly some of those storms could be strong, maybe severe. So if you're traveling, just be aware of that. This is the significant tornado parameter at noon on Thursday. And you can see along and south of Interstate 59, we've still got an STP of 2 units down there below Tuscaloosa, down there toward Brent and Centerville and Marion. So there's the chance of a tornado Thursday is not zero. And this is the synoptic look for Thursday, for Christmas Eve. The big surface low is up around James Bay in Canada, or Hudson Bay, and you got the trailing boundary that kind of stalls out over far northwest Alabama. And we stay pretty warm. In fact, the GFS is showing a high of 76. So we'll still be watching for severe weather Christmas Eve. Now, Christmas Day, the front moves north as a warm front, and we don't expect any severe weather problems, but clearly a chance of showers. Don't think it rains all day Christmas Day. And goodness gracious, the deterministic GFS is printing 81. We're not going that high. But it could very well be the warmest Christmas on record. Weather records here go back to the late 1800s. The current record for December 25th is 75. In fact, let me show you the forecast highs here. And where you see the circles, that would be a record if the high verifies. And this is off the National Digital Data Forecast base. It's got Birmingham at 75, Huntsville 73, Mobile 77. Those are all records. Montgomery would tie at 78. Now up north it's colder. Look at Chicago. They're only in the high of 40 on Christmas Day. Here's a look at the anomalies across the country on Christmas. The El Nino blowtorch for the east. For many cities, the warmest Christmas on record. Cold in the west. And if you're looking for snow, head west of a line from Green Bay to Albuquerque. That's where the snow is going to be. And understand, we got a post-Christmas snowstorm evolving as well that you'll see. In fact, let's look at Saturday. Warm day with mid-70s, maybe a few showers, but again, I don't think it rains that much. And look at Sunday, a deep surface low, 1,000 millibars forms just northeast of Dallas. Big snows developing for Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas that they could be buried. 10 to 20 inches in spots out there. And then this is Sunday night at midnight. The surface low is south of Kansas City. Big snows continue in the cold sector, and we'll have to watch Sunday night and early I took that back. This is not midnight Sunday night. This is 6 o'clock Monday morning. I had my time wrong looking at the timestamp of it. 6 o'clock Monday morning. Now, thankfully, that's going to be coming through at a time when the air tends to be most stable. Here's a look at the instabilities Monday morning at 6 o'clock. But still, they're there, and it doesn't take a lot of that cape for severe weather in late December. So after we get through this mess the next few days, we'll have to watch out for this thing Sunday night and early Monday morning. And then Tuesday of next week, troughing in the west, ridging in the east, and if that's right, the weather dry and pleasant. This is the end of the forecast period. January 1st, hey, the first time we've shown a 2016 map on this show. Look at the deep trough in here, and goodness, that's going to be kind of cold if this verifies. The pattern starts to flip a little bit. And you can see that reflected in the numbers. You can see those mid-70s on through the weekend. Highs next week dropping in the 50s, then 40s as the new year begins, with lows down around the freezing mark. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. If you can, catch us this evening on ABC 3340 News on television or the live stream at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. And, of course, we'll have a lot of notes on the blog as well. So thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.